Hi guys. Hi guys, I'm Aurena. I'm the admin of the Arcturian group. One of my moderators, hi Jacqueline, she asked me a question. So I said I will do a video. And I have done a German video about it. It was an interview, but I haven't done it in English so far. So let me try to put it all together. What is the connection between different star seeds, starseed races and countries all over the world? Hi Georgia. And being powerful, or maybe having money or not money. Okay, so I'm traveling a lot. So that means when I travel, I get certain downloads and information from different starseed races, right? So it happened very strongly, the Arcturian one, when I was in Germany. That was 2000. I was thinking about it today. So that is the reason I created this Arcturian group when the entire world didn't even talk about it. Hi Kylie, hi Abby, hi Michael. Hi Michael. Michael has a podcast, like a radio. You can always connect with him and listen to his. He has different people coming to his talk show. I call it talk show now, okay? So yeah, okay, coming back to the point. So the first connection was the Arcturians. I always knew I'm from Venus, I'm from Sirius. I always knew that somehow because I always loved water and I always had this connection to Venus. But very strongly came Arcturian starseeds when I was in Germany, and it was connected with a dream. It was 2009-10, and in the dream my guide was saying he was saying Athena, and I didn't know who's Athena, like Pallas Athena. He said, Athena, this is your crystal, this is your druze, and it was huge. And on top of the druze there was a hologram, like a cube, a circle and a triangle, and kept shifting and changing. People didn't talk about the Metatron cube. It came all after that. We just had computers and Google wasn't that advanced. And I found out, wow, it was the Metatron cube I was dreaming about, which is connected, of course, to the holy geometry, body, mind, and soul, and so many other parts, metals and whatsoever. And then I was like, wow, Pallas Athena. I was like, okay. So I knew I'm a twin flame, which is connected to Mahakohan, which has the etheric temple in Sri Lanka. And Pallas Athena comes from Greece, and the Greece goddess is a warrior goddess, but also for protection. At the same time, the starship of the Arcturians is called Athena. Even you will find it in the astrology. So I found many connections to different countries. And the Arcturians are very advanced. They help humanity to shift from 3D to 5D and to bring in 5D into 3D so that new technology, new earth knowledge comes to this planet. And it's about science, a lot of new technology, numerology, technology whatsoever. So when I went from Germany to India, I realized, wow, the Arcturians are even strong in India, because the blue colored gods like Shiva, Krishna, they're all blue, and the Arcturians are blue, which they are also connected to Sri Lanka. And then I found out after many years, wow, Sri Lanka is one of the old Lemurian kingdoms, which is in the Tamil knowledge and language, it's still there. So if people say India and Sri Lanka is Atlantis, no, sorry, it's totally wrong. You can find it in the Vedas, you can find it in the Tamil language, that Lemuria is Sri Lanka. It's called Kumaria Kingdom, which is also the tip of South India, Kanyakumari. And we have the Adams Bridge, which you can see from the satellites, which you can see the bridge between India and Sri Lanka. And then I was like, wow, the Arcturians are even connected to Sri Lanka and India. And then I was doing some more research when I was in Hawaii. In Hawaii, the Pleiades came very strong, and then I figured out, wow, the old Pleiades used to come from inner earth, and those are the old monks. When you look at them, they had no hair, and they brought a lot of knowledge to humanity, as like meditation, the meridians, TCM, like the traditional Chinese medicine, working with needles, and acupuncture, acupressure, yin jitsu, what is it called? Sorry, sometimes I mix up the German and English, but never mind, you can always do your own research and tell me and write it here in the comments. Hi Garrett, I'm a twin flame, currently experiencing my twin flame. But always remember, your true twin flame is within yourself. So the more you heal about yourself, the easier it's for you to meet it in the outside. Arcturians are the only ones outside of the reach of the matrix. Most people are heavenly influenced, even if they see themselves. I love you too, Stevan. I love you all, guys. I'm so happy that you're all there in the group. We're all a soul tribe. Always remember that. And we're here to make a shift through love and to... I would love you guys to post more about new technology. That would be so awesome, because I'm always wondering, it's an Arcturian group, but people hardly post anything about new technology. Please do that, okay? I have lots of new wisdom about free energy and all of that, but I want you to share it as well. So, okay, so when I was in Hawaii, then I realized, wow, the Pleiades are the 7 sisters, which are connected to, of course, the Hawaiian, the Mayan, and the Aborigines, which they were here to create humanity and changing and shifting the DNA and working with the human DNA. So the Pleiades are very connected to the monks in the Buddhist tradition, okay? And then I was like, wow, that's a lot. And then when I went to Mexico, I was like, wow, there was this huge vortex in Tulum, which you find the pyramids, and the cenotes, which is very much the Andromedan energy, which is the goddess energy. But Andromeda was the daughter of Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia was sacrificing her own daughter. So the Andromedan energy are very much the digital nomads, very physical. They love sports, they love just to travel, they love even being on their own. They have their own way of culture and music. Hi Rudy, how are you doing? And the Andromedan energy is the fallen angels. They have like those wings, and when you look at the Mayan culture, you can find the avians, but they're not like the real avians. They're a bit different. I will explain it. So the Andromedan are the goddess energy, very strong, but also learning to love themselves and not to sacrifice themselves. There are a lot of sacrificing healers in the Mayan culture, where they were sacrificing themselves in the cenotes and even in the pyramids. So those are connected even to Pallas Athena. When you look at her, when the helmet, and the Roman are very strongly connected to the Andromedan starseed tribe. So from Tulum, I went to Mexico City, and in Mexico City we have the Quetzalcoatl, or whatever that pyramid is called, the serpent feather dragon or snake, which is connected to the avians, the bluebirds, connected to, it's almost dark, but it's very dark blue, which is connected to the Orion constellation. And sorry, don't just read books, go to a country, make a connection with the starseeds. They will give you the informations. We are not into racism. It's not true that all the Orion people are bad. It's not true that the Alpha Draconis are all bad. It's just simply not true. I have traveled, I have done my research, I have spoken with the locals, I have seen the energies, and I hate it. I seriously hate it, and I will block everyone who's being a racist here in this group. There's good and bad everywhere, but it's for us to connect in union and unite with love. We are here for each other, and we are here to help Earth to shift. And how do we do it? We do it with love. Yes, we set boundaries, but we do it with love. So then I learned a lot about the Mayan culture, and I was like, wow, even the Lilliput people are there, and the huge giant people. And I learned that in Peru. When I was in Peru, they have the Southern Cross, which is connected also to the Alpha Centauri and Beta Centauri. Those were the giants which they call also Cyclopes. They had one eye, and they were actually helping to build the pyramids besides the people who were helping with telekinesis, okay? The Peruvian people know about the Centauri people, the huge giants, and even they had old photos of people, humans being 2 meters and taller, which was in the Weimar Republic in the war in Germany, and even in Peru, where they're showing it when you go to, what is it called? Machu Picchu. They had old photos in a cafe. So those old giants, they were helping to build up the pyramids, and those little people, that's why they had small steps, they were going up there. And the people from Orion and other constellations, they were landing with their spaceships on those pyramids. Very interesting. So when I went from Peru, I went to Brazil, and in Brazil I was like, wow, I felt like I'm in a different world. We have the very strong Atlantean energy, Mexico, Brazil, Canary Islands, I was there. There are pyramids all over the world, and they're all built on ley lines. So that means the earth has like a meridian, which we have in our body, and they have ley lines, it's called. So they're all built on powerful sources. And then I was thinking, yes, Mexico is full of Alpha Draconis, and the Alpha Draconis, the true Alpha Draconis, the reptoids, are from Angkor Wat, which is connected Cambodia to the star constellation Alpha Draconis, which are the dragon people, and the dragon people are connected to the central sun. Okay, so the dragon people are good. And as I said, there's always some hybrids, which there's good and bad everywhere. I even remember a past life where I was an Alpha Draconis, and it's just that I can be born in Germany and still I don't look German, right? You can be born in Alpha Draconis and still you can be from Sirius. So when we do starseed origin readings, calculation, we go through it and people say, oh, I didn't know that. Yes, because you can be from Sirius and you can have been living in Central Sun or Tau Ceti or whatsoever. And that's the reason I made the starseed activation, so that you remember yourself, because I can tell you a lot, but it's always better to remember naturally anytime you want without any drugs. That's why this group doesn't support any drugs. I have seen people all over the world taking ayahuasca, and you can tell me whatever you want. Starseeds out there, please don't use it. It's not it's not good for you. It's actually harming you, because you get this connection, oh, I'm one with everything, but then when you come back in, your aura is cracking and you're not the same person as you were before, because your soul needs to be in your body. We are here incarnated masters, Arcturians are incarnated masters, to come here to bring back the lost soul frequency, soul parts back into the body here on earth. That's what we do. Ayahuasca, San Pedro, you just do the opposite. You bring the soul out of the body, which is very old shamanic tradition, which they had to do in old ancient times when the frequency after Atlantis fell and Lemuria fell, the frequency was down. Then it was okay. Now it's not helping you anymore. It's really not helping you anymore. Oh wow, I'm glad you mentioned the cenotes and the Andromedan connection. I swam in one when I went to Chichen Itza. Makes perfect sense. Yes, and the typical energy and color for the Andromedan people and starseeds is gold and white. It's beautiful. I had an alpha draconian attachment to me. Yeah, okay. And then ask that attachment what it wants to tell you. There's always a message. It's like people are always scared of ghosts. I can talk to them, but they come to you for asking for help, right? So you need to help them, to guide them home. And if they have a message for you, maybe they help you to activate you. So guys, not everything on earth is bad if you look into the other side of what's going on. Okay, so it was about money and wealth. So then I realized, okay, when I went to Argentina, it's a lot of Illuminati energy, like really strong, and I was really struggling with it. So I'm talking about humans, and humans can be the worst. And I'm talking about all of you, even including me. If you live in fear, if you live in worries, that means you will do things which hurt other people, because you will look For money, you will try to get insurance, then you try to get more money, then you will try to sell insurances. I'm just giving an example, okay? So it's not about the star seeds. It's like sometimes, yesterday I was really upset and I was thinking, wow, I'm on star seed. How come so less star seeds are awakened? Like, I love people and I would never hurt anyone, nor I would take something away from someone. Yes, I did when I was little. I did steal, but it was always when I was not in abundance. I was like in a deficit. I was leaking. I was like, I need to steal something now because other people might try to take it away from me. But then I learned, wow, I have everything I need. And even if someone wants to take something away from me, they cannot, because I will get it back multiple times. And then I was really upset. And then I thought, wow, humanity is really a lot about material things. And even the starseed community is like sometimes full of crap, because they say, oh, you'd have to take DMT, D and whatever, and this and that. And it's like all a hype. Why can't you just connect with nature? Why can't you just go for a walk and be happy? And why do you want to push your knowledge onto someone else if they're maybe totally different? If someone comes to me and asks me a question, I gladly explain it to them, but I will not force my knowledge onto someone else, because some people come later, some people have a different experience, and some people just have a different soul path and soul mission. So why can't you just be happy with yourself and be yourself and get to know yourself? So again, coming to the money part, yeah, some countries, like for example, the Peruvian people, most amazing. I just want to make some light so you can see me. When I went to Peru, like when I was in Africa, people were very, which country was really frustrated? Let me think. When I was in Hawaii, I'm sorry, I look tired. I went to the dentist for a couple of hours, but I'm good. So when I went to Hawaii, people were very frustrated. The American people, the government took away a lot from the Hawaiian roots. But what I saw is when I was in Hawaii, besides getting in touch with the Pleiades, that they did a lot of black magic. There was one very strong king, and he killed and he did a lot of blood sacrifices to get his power. That's why the Hawaiian people, they bury the bones in most traditional old ancient countries and civilizations, buried and were hiding the bones, because they knew the bones are connected to the ancestors. So when they were hiding the bones, they made sure that no one knows where they are, because people would try to get power and try to get the king's bones, which they could not find. So they were hiding it in different lava tubes or in the ocean or different places which you cannot find. So I found a lot of frustration in the Hawaiian culture. They were hurt, they were still like trying to fight struggling within themselves and what happened to them. Instead of changing what happened within them and then saying, wow, you know what, this is what happened and we can change it, we have the power. But when I went to Peru, you know what they said? Most amazing. I was like, wow, they're so wise. They said, you know, the spirits knew this is going to happen to Peru, that the Spanish people will come and they will invade Peru and they will change the names. And even when they changed the names, they knew that changing the frequency, and if they change the frequency, things will change all over the country. And they were so peaceful. Hi, Farah. And then, hi, Mario. And then they said, you know what? We knew this is going to happen because a new culture, new religion came into the country. But we're evolving all together when the time is right. And I was like, wow, you're just so beautiful souls. They had no anger. They had no grudge. And this, you can see it in the culture. You can even see it with the Mexican people. They said, you know what? The Christian came and they built their churches and they built their crosses and they asked us to pray and a bow in front of the cross. But you know what we did? We took our gods and we buried it underneath the cross. So every time we bowed ourselves in front of the cross, we obeyed our own gods. And I was like, wow, you're amazing. They're smart. They have a beautiful heart. I just love them. And then I was like, wow. So in the end of the day, it always comes down to being human, even when they call about and talk about, hi, Miguel. So even when they talk about, child trafficking and all that, our group does not post any political stuff nor this negative stuff, because it's up to you what you do with your heart and your soul and your frequency. And in the end of the day, it's the humans who are doing those things. It's not the star seeds or different aliens or whatsoever. It's always the humans who are, how do you say, it's like a human or us or you or whoever, we are born and then we have trauma. There is an Indian story about two wolves. You can feed the wolf who does good things and who shares the food, or whatever the story is, I'm sorry. Or you can give the food to someone who, like, if there are two people, one person steals and the other person does good for humanity, and there's only one cup of water which will save either of those people, and there's no other water left, whom will you give the water to? The person who does good for humanity, or the water who serves the person who steals and does bad to humanity? So it's always the energy within you. It's like, I grew up with no money. I grew up with having no breakfast. I grew up like in a really bad foster family, which they were really bad. But look at me, it's my choice, it's how I choose to be. I can be a good person and I can say, oh, this is what happened to me, and I can be really bad. I can say, oh, this is what happened to me and I chose to be a better person. I'm fairly new to a lot of this. So when I started watching videos, doing research, listening to other people that's in these groups, I felt like belong here, but I don't know really what I need to do. 1 second. Need to do with disclosure happening and this, but I made a video about disclosure. It's like, I don't care about those things. You care about every day, to be happy, to aliens have always been here on this planet. They show themselves to you if you're ready for it. If you're not ready, you will not see them. That's it. Very simple. 1 second. Okay, I will post what about the people in Peru who's helping people in ayahuasca. I was traveling a lot with the people in Peru, and they were all shamanic people and they all did ayahuasca. But what I saw is that I could get information anytime I wanted, anywhere I was, and I had my energy stable and frequent high, and they were always following me and listening to my stories. It was actually, I don't tell my stories except it's here or on YouTube. And he kept asking about my stories about Pallas Athena and Arcturians and whatsoever, and there were many of them. It was not just one, and they were listening, and then they were very surprised. They said, wow. And then they were having those stories only when they did ayahuasca, but when they did ayahuasca or San Pedro, they were still suffering. I saw no light in their eyes. They were beautiful, amazing people, and they really follow the tradition. But I saw in the end that they're always codependent on the plant, and the plant, even weed, can bind you in. The people who have really old knowledge about plant medicine, they will always tell you that the plant takes you spiritually in. They create like a co-creation, which is not healthy. You're happy and healthy and strong and you have everything on your own. That's being a starseed. So you being a starseed, you just need to learn how to tap into yourself, with your soul, with your guides. And a plant will bind you, and that's very different. So I saw that in them, and they even said, please come back. And I was like, I respect you, but respect me that I will not take it. And they did. And then once we were sitting in Machu Picchu, and one guy, he was really bad, one of the group, he was a powerful shaman, and he cried because he said, you know, I'm not feeling well. And normally they needed to do a San Pedro session. And what I did is like, okay, I'm brave, I just do it. And I said, okay, one girl was there to translate, and I just told them what's going on, what he has. And they were looking at me, and I was like, I was very nervous telling them. I was like, who am I to tell them? But then I realized, that's my gift. This is who I am. This is what I can do in the instant of a moment. And you can do it too, because you're starseed. This is what we do. We are different. We are high vibrational beings. We are not this old shamanic tribal people who need to do rituals and whatsoever. You can just do it, and you don't need to sit 10 hours to meditate to do something. Okay, it's just, you do it, you want to do it, that's it. Okay, so coming back to the Hawaiians, and then I saw, okay, fine. In the end of the day, it's up to everyone. Even in Sri Lanka, there's a huge shift and change going on. The guys, the patriarchat is very strong in Sri Lanka, but now everything went down so much. And I remember when I went from one temple to the other trying to take out black magic, when I spoke to the politicians telling them that the female energy needs to come back in balance. And they didn't believe me, they didn't listen, but at the same time they were listening to what I said, but they were too afraid to execute it. So now this island is so amazing, changing everything, and now people are protesting peacefully together, men, women, children together, all religions, all cultures. And in the end of the day, what happened is, yes, for example, the Spanish took away a lot of jewelry, gold, even the British, from certain countries, but things are shifting and changing, that the truth is coming out, humanity is waking up, and that is the truth. The truth is speaking from your heart, being yourself and realizing who you are, and you don't need any substances. Okay, so I spoke a lot today and I really messed up, but I don't care. So, oh wow, thank you so much, Georgia, Kylie, Abby, hi, thank you, Michael. Okay guys, so that is one reason I made the starseed activation, which is like in the old pyramids, that your body gets prepared physically with normal herbs, which you get anywhere, to get rid of the bacteria, so that your meridians are open and free, that your cells are free, so that osmotic energy level in the cells is balanced, and your pH level in the body is healthy, so that your high frequent soul parts can come into your body. You naturally activate your psychic abilities, and you don't need any ayahuasca, you don't need any DMT, except it's natural. You don't need any San Pedro, you don't need any ecstasy or whatsoever. I've never taken any drugs, and I'm proud of it. And yeah, just remember who you are, your starseeds, you're most amazing. And so, have I forgotten something? Pleiades, Arcturians, Tau Ceti, Andromedans, Central Sun. I think those are the most important ones. Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.